So when they create smart contract, this smart contract agreement was only going to be useful when there is an application of it. So for Uber code base to make sense, they had to create a user interface for people to use Uber, right? For you to be able to pay on Uber, you have to go to the Uber app to make payment. So the same thing for you to interact with the smart contract, you need to create what they called the decentralized application. So which stands for DApp. So the Ethereum started the whole aspect of DApp, creating decentralized application. Now with decentralized application, you could interact with the blockchain directly using smart contracts. So since the blockchain is a decentralized system, so they have to create a way whereby we can interact with this blockchain through the form of DApps. So with DApps, what they did was to hide people's identity. So since decentralization brought about that anonymity, so using a DApp, one can enter into an application, make all its user transaction without knowing that person's identity. So you can't use Uber without registering. And when you are registering for Uber, what you do is to put your name, your email address. In fact, you verify your email address. In some cases, you put your phone number, you get, and it starts, they have all those data. But with a decentralized application, you do not use those identities. Instead, you use the identity of a wallet address. So you remember when Bitcoin came to be and when they went to the deep web. So people were sending money not with their name, but with a wallet address, which is a series of gibberish. So the same thing in a decentralized application, you can interact with this application, but you are interacting with your wallet address and not your identity. Any question on that? So since you can interact with a wallet address and stay anonymous, so people started bringing traditional finance into the decentralized world. And that was how the word DeFi came to be, decentralized finance. So whenever you do a financial transaction in the decentralized world, be it the Ethereum blockchain, be it any other blockchain, then you are doing a DeFi transaction, which is a decentralized finance. So we have traditional finance like our banks. So if I send money to my mom, that is recorded and I can be tracked. But in DeFi, you can't be tracked because you are using a wallet address. In the traditional finance, if I send money, it can be manipulated. My account officer can manipulate my transaction. In fact, my account officer can send a transaction on my behalf. It can be manipulated. But in the decentralized world, it can't be manipulated because once a transaction goes out, it's gone. And only the person that has that wallet or that owns the wallet can make a transaction. So that is a decentralized finance. So we are moving to a world whereby decentralization is the order of the day. No man holds your money, no man controls your money. So imagine the crisis we are going through in Nigeria, the financial crisis. Some people might not consider it a crisis, but it's a big crisis. Now, in the world of DeFi, You can't have things like that. You avoid crisis like that because Zenith Bank cannot hold your money. You hold your money. And interacting with a decentralized application, you do whatever you want to do with your money at any given time. So those are the advantages uh, of DeFi, decentralized finance. So there's a whole lot that can go in DeFi. So just every other thing you can do in traditional finance, you can do in decentralized finance. So you can borrow money in decentralized finance, just like you can borrow money in centralized finance or traditional finance. Now, the unique thing with borrowing in decentralized finance is that there is going to be an agreement. So if I say, Bingo, borrow me 50,000 naira. In the traditional finance, once Bingo borrows me this money, I can decide to japa. Bingo will be looking for me, will carry police, no, you'll be chasing me. But I can decide to disappear. Apart from disappearing, I can decide not to give Bimbo this money again. So there's a lot in the traditional finance. Now, bringing this to the decentralized finance is that a smart contract can be created or can be written that binds myself and Bimbo in terms of borrowing. Now, this smart contract can have functions whereby whenever me, the borrower, and Bimbo, the lender, whenever I, the borrower, goes into an application to use the money and I make more money, automatically Bimbo's money is sent back to him. So you could do things like that in decentralized finance. Now, in decentralized finance, let's go to the traditional finance. Now, in traditional finance, people buy commodity, people buy stock, people buy assets. So you could buy Apple stock, you could buy gold, you could buy diesel, you could buy petrol. Now, in the decentralized finance, you could also purchase commodities, but the only difference is that these commodities are digitalized. So just like you can buy artwork in the decentralized, in the traditional finance, maybe you could go and get Mona Lisa painting. I don't think it's out for auction, but if it's out, you could go buy Mona Lisa painting. The same thing in the decentralized world, you could buy art, digital art. So we've heard the word NFT, non-fungible token. Later we'll dive deep into things like that. But that is you just digitalizing art, taking a digital copy, which is as good as a JPEG, and signing it into the blockchain. Now, taking the advantage of the blockchain, which is immutable. So what it means is that that artwork is forever going to be in the blockchain. Why the Mona Lisa painting, anything could happen to it. I think right now the Mona Lisa painting is in Paris. And no, is it? Yeah, Paris, yeah. So anything could happen to it. Right there in where it sits, things could happen. It could get stolen, it could get burned. Things could happen, no matter their preventive measures. But in the decentralized world, nothing can happen to your artwork. Nothing is digitalized and it's in the blockchain. It's going to live there forever. Now, another thing we need to understand with the decentralized finance is people asking the question, what happens if Bitcoin should stop working? Now, to answer that question is giving the illusion or giving the illustration that what happens if the entire world was to go off in terms of electricity? What happens if the world internet was to shut down? So before Bitcoin blockchain can be destroyed. That means you need to destroy all forms of communication. Now, remember, there are people running off the grid with solar panels. So what it means, you need to destroy the internet that everything we are using right now is built before Bitcoin will be destroyed. So before Bitcoin will be destroyed, your money in GT is going to be destroyed first before that happens. So the blockchain is the sure way for humanity, or the decentralized world is the sure way for humanity. So in a couple of years, we can't run away from it. It's way better. So imagine you go to hospital A, they take diagnosis of you, they do tests, they give you diagnosis, and you are going to hospital B. Now, hospital B needs to do the same test and run their own diagnosis on you. Now, on the blockchain or on the decentralized world, all those data can just be in one place, and hospital B just needs to bring it out. So it's more of a universal database that runs in the blockchain. So we can't run away from that aspect of civilization. So that is why we need to learn, get ourselves equipped, because when you could buy Amazon stock and make money, you can as well buy a particular token which is currently as good as Amazon stock and holds as much value as Amazon stock and still make money. Because if you can do our own research concerning money, money has transformed over years and now it's going digitally. Money is going digitally. We have days of trade by barter, we have days of gold as store of value. Then gold was completely taken off as a store of value. Then we have paper notes, and now it's moving to a form of note. You are doing transfer, and everyone doing transfer while they have just one interbanking settlement, making sure that person A money is okay with person B money, and that can be hacked. But in a decentralized world, it can't be hacked in the sense that the blockchain cannot be manipulated. You get. So we don't just have only Bitcoin blockchain and Ethereum blockchain. There are other types of blockchain. You get. Other types. They are the ones that are not 100% decentralized. They are the ones that are faster. They are the ones that are suitable for certain things. So as we go further in our classes, we'll talk more about those other blockchain. So this class is to understand the foundation that we are going to build upon. So our next class will dive deeper, and it's going to get more interesting, and we'll show a couple of things in our next class. I'll be sharing my screen.